Let's talk further then about the arrest of that teenager in Malmesbury in the Western Cape for allegedly being allegedly involved in sexual exploitation or sharing images of the sexual exploitation of other minors. Bring in Gugu Xaba, the CEO of Save the Children South Africa. Thank you for your time this afternoon, Ms. Xaba. So, a teenager involved with an international child exploitation network, for most of us, seems almost unimaginable. Is it rare?
Thank you very much, Tembekile, for that question. Save the Children South Africa is aware that children are exploited, children can be manipulated, groomed in order to be perpetrators of online violence. And so we wouldn't say it's rare. The only thing we have as a challenge is that it's not identified on time and reported on time. And as Save the Children, we applaud the Department of Police that have been able to find this case, and it means we have an ability to find more of these cases. Thank you.
What the police have said in their statement is that the 16-year-old is basically accused of accessing, possessing, facilitating, and downloading child sexual abuse material. What becomes the best way of dealing with a minor who now faces such serious charges?
This is a serious child protection case. And so everybody must see it in that way. Now, the approach to managing it is that we must acknowledge that this is a minor. And so the best interest of the child must come first. One, they must be protected from public exposure. Yes, we are talking about a 16-year-old, but we cannot put them on camera. We cannot interview him with people who do not understand how to work with children. And then the next thing is to ensure that we use the right approaches of investigating to get the truth out of this child, because it's possible to do that as long as we follow the right processes of interviewing children. And of course, where there's wrong that has been done, there must be consequence management for the child. But from this, you can tell that you've got a network from this 764, and it means we must follow the source of the problem. So as Save the Children, we are saying it's possible to investigate properly. Let's follow the processes, and we will be able to get to the bottom of this problem. Thank you.
Is it a fair assumption to make that ultimately for this teenager to have been involved in allegedly such a serious crime, is that ultimately an adult would have had to recruit them, right? Because when you look at the background, some of the reporting on this 764 network, it said that they work with, what they basically do is that they target and blackmail as well as coerce children into online sexual abuse, torturing and killing animals. So how hard does that make it to even crack the work of such a syndicate or a network?
Tembekile, you'll note that previously we had pedophiles as adults that were caught. And now going through children, it makes it easier for them to continue manipulating the most vulnerable person and the person that will not be suspected. So it's easier for them, but it makes it even more difficult to get to them because now they have a conduit in order to do the abuse of children online. So it means we need more sensitive and thorough investigation for us to cross through the child to the adult who is manipulating this particular child, because definitely it's not the child that is the source of this problem.
I think it's devastating enough for the parents whose children were basically the victims of these sexual crimes, where they would have been filmed in compromising positions or being abused in some of these pictures and video. But you have to wonder as a parent, where do you even begin in response to your child possibly being recruited to become one of the perpetrators of such a horrific crime? And what do you look out for? What are the signs? What do people do, really?
Okay. Save the Children South Africa is always encouraging parents that the era that we're in now, we are not protecting children from only physical and sexual violence. We're also protecting them from online lack of safety. So it means there's need for vigilance as a parent. What tools am I giving to my child? What are they able to download and not download? And on a regular basis, because you know right now, children are always allowed to be online for a very long time. But are we looking as parents as to what they are doing? And when do we interact with the device that we have given to this child so that we can know, because you are able to see the history of what this child is exposed to. So that is why Save the Children is involved in educating parents and children on how to manage online exposure and how to be able to protect themselves online. Thank you.
And for this teenage boy then already in custody, I know that the investigation that's led to his arrest in Malmesbury also included international agencies, the likes of the FBI in the United States, etc. But ultimately, what are the chances then that he could lead authorities to perhaps bigger figures within the same criminal network, the 764 network, domestically especially?
The chances of us finding out that there's more South Africans that are involved in this are high. Because as soon as there's vulnerability, in the sense that, one, the child has a lot of time on their lap, there is poverty, and there is unemployment, you'll find that there are people who have made it their business to work on such a platform. So the chances of getting more South Africans are high. And the fact that they have people that will fund this particular action, then we are facing a serious problem. So as Save the Children, our view is that we need serious investigation in order for us to find the source and be able to uproot the problem that we're facing right now. Thank you.
Gugu Xaba, CEO of Save the Children South Africa, thank you for your time this afternoon.